Whenever Peter Thiel interviews someone for a job, he doesn't start with, "What are your strengths?" He asks something far more uncomfortable. What is one important truth that very few people agree with you on? Think about that for a second. Most people completely fail this question. They say things like, the education system is broken, or climate change is the biggest issue of our time, or God doesn't exist. But those aren't secrets. Those are just popular debates. You've simply chosen a side. What Thiel is really asking is this: what do you believe that, if true, would change the future? That question is the foundation of his groundbreaking book 0 to 1. So let's dive in. Section 1. The leap from 0 to 1. Thiel argues that there are only two kinds of progress in the world. The first is horizontal progress, going from 1 to n. This means copying something that works and expanding it. If one restaurant is successful, you open 10 more. If one country manufactures efficiently, another country replicates the model. This is globalization. It's scaling. It's doing more of what already works. But then there's vertical progress, going from 0 to 1. This is doing something entirely new. It's inventing the airplane instead of building faster trains. It's creating the smartphone instead of improving the flip phone. When the personal computer was created, that was 0 to 1. When Facebook launched, it wasn't just another website. It redefined digital social identity. And remember, Thiel was the first outside investor in Facebook. He recognized a secret most people couldn't see. The reason 0 to 1 is rare is because humans are wired to imitate. We look at what works and we try to do it slightly better. 10% faster, 10% cheaper, 10% more efficient. But 10% better doesn't change the world. It makes you a commodity. If you open a coffee shop that's just a bit better than the one next door, you're fighting for scraps. But if you create something so different that comparison doesn't even make sense, you've changed the game. That's the leap. From copying to creating. But here's where it gets controversial. To win big, Thiel says, you must aim for something most business schools hate: monopoly. Section 2. Competition is for losers. We're taught from childhood that competition is healthy. It makes you stronger. It sharpens your skills. It drives innovation. Thiel says, in business, that's mostly a myth. When companies compete intensely, they destroy profits. They enter price wars. They cut corners. They obsess over each other instead of serving customers. Look at the airline industry. Dozens of companies offering nearly identical services, constantly undercutting prices. Massive effort. Thin margins. Now compare that to Google in search. Google dominates search so completely that most people don't even consider alternatives. Because it isn't trapped in daily survival battles, it has room to innovate, experiment, and invest long-term. That's the power of a monopoly. Now, when people hear monopoly, they think corruption or exploitation. But Thiel makes a key distinction. A creative monopoly earns its position by building something so good and so unique that no one else can compete. It doesn't fight. It defines the category. If you're constantly worrying about competitors, you're in survival mode. But if you're creating something no one else has imagined yet, you're building power. And here's the twist. Monopoly isn't about crushing others. It's about escaping comparison. It's about asking, what can I build that makes competition irrelevant? Section 3. The power of secrets. This is the heart of 0 to 1. Thiel believes the world is still full of secrets. There are secrets about nature, scientific discoveries waiting to be made, and secrets about people, truths hiding in plain sight. The tragedy is that most people no longer believe in secrets. We assume that if something valuable existed, someone smarter would have already discovered it. So we aim small. We copy. We optimize. But the most successful companies were built on secrets. Before Airbnb, the idea that strangers would rent out their spare bedrooms to other strangers sounded ridiculous. Before Uber, the idea that you'd get into a random person's car instead of a licensed taxi felt unsafe. But those founders saw something hidden in human behavior. They saw that people were willing to trade privacy for convenience, trust for efficiency, ownership for access. The question Thiel wants you to ask yourself is, what valuable company is nobody building? Or even more personal, what truth do you see that others are blind to? Maybe in your industry, customers are frustrated in ways nobody talks about. Maybe there's a need that people feel but can't articulate. Maybe the way things are done is based on outdated assumptions. Your job isn't to follow trends. It's to discover what's missing. That's 0 to 1 thinking. But even if you uncover a powerful secret, it won't matter if no one hears about it. And this is where many brilliant people fail, because they underestimate distribution. Section 4. The Art of Distribution. Thiel famously says, "Nerds might wish it were otherwise, but distribution matters. Building a great product is not enough. You can invent something revolutionary and still fail if you don't know how to get it into people's hands." Distribution is how your idea spreads. Marketing, sales, partnerships, branding. Some founders think sales is manipulative. They think genius should speak for itself. But the truth is, if people don't understand your value doesn't exist in the market. Think about the early days of PayPal. They didn't just build a payment system. They used aggressive referral incentives to spread adoption rapidly. They engineered growth. That wasn't accidental. That was distribution strategy. The best salespeople don't feel like salespeople. They feel like problem solvers. They understand psychology. They position their solution as the obvious next step. Distribution is leverage. Without it, your 0 to 1 idea becomes a 0. Section 5. Building the future intentionally. Thiel also challenges a common belief that the future just happens. Many people think in terms of indefinite optimism. The future will be better somehow, and someone will figure it out. But creators think in definite optimism. They plan. They design. They build deliberately. The next breakthrough won't come from someone copying Bill Gates. The next tech giant won't come from someone imitating Mark Zuckerberg. If you're copying them, you're not learning from them. You're competing with ghosts. Real innovation requires courage. The courage to be wrong. The courage to look foolish. The courage to hold a belief that very few agree with. That's why Thiel's interview question is so powerful. It reveals whether someone is thinking independently or just recycling consensus. 0 to 1 is not a checklist. It's not 10 steps to guaranteed success, because that would be 1 to N thinking. It's a challenge. A challenge to reject the comfortable path of imitation. A challenge to search for secrets. A challenge to build something so unique that competition becomes irrelevant. So here's the question I'll leave you with. What truth do you believe that most people around you dismiss? What opportunity is hiding in plain sight? Drop it in the comments. I'll be down there responding to the most original ideas. This is what we do at BloomShelf Hub. We don't just summarize books, we extract the psychological and strategic gold that helps you level up. If this breakdown gave you clarity, hit that like button and subscribe. It tells the algorithm you value deep thinking, and it helps us keep bringing these insights to you. More powerful breakdowns on negotiation, psychology, and wealth building are coming very soon. Stop competing. Start creating. I'll see you in the next one.